Module Efes Nikud Arba. Arba means 4. Consonants ayin to resh, vowels, and syllables, part 4. Efes Nikud Arba, Nikud alef. Explanation: dots within consonants and consonants that resist them. We have already observed that a dot can appear in a beged kefet letter when that letter begins a word that is first in a phrase, or when that beged kefet letter follows a closed syllable. This kind of dagesh is known as a weak dagesh, or a dagesh lene. As an example, consider the name of an Israelite spy in the Joshua account. The spy's name was Kalev. Kalev. There is a dagesh lene, a weak dagesh, in the kaf, the first letter of his name. Had that dagesh not been there, it would have been pronounced Chalev, Chalev. The most famous king of Israel was named David, David. And notice that the dalet is a beged kefet letter. It opens this word, and so it takes the dagesh. This is a weak dagesh. There is a second type of dagesh, and this can appear in nearly any consonant. It is not restricted to the beged kefet letters. This is known as a strong dagesh, or dagesh forte. This type of dagesh is a shorthand for doubling the consonant in which it appears. Now, if we look at transliterations of words containing a strong dagesh, the dagesh forte, we will see this doubling appearing in the transliteration. Take, for example, the word Hillel. Hillel. Notice the dagesh in the first lamed, and notice that when it's transliterated, that middle consonant, that L, is doubled and forms the bridge between two syllables. Consider also the word limed. Limed. There's a dagesh in the middle consonant, the mem, and when transliterated, you can tell that this is recognized as a strong dagesh because two letters M appear in the transliteration. L-I-M, and then a hyphen showing the break in syllables, M-E-D. Occasionally you may hear a modern Hebrew speaker who will attempt to capture this, and it renders a very articulate expression of the Hebrew language. But most Hebrew speakers gloss over this and do not reproduce the sense of doubling or lengthening of the strong dagesh consonant. Please notice that in the transliterations, no vowel is supplied between the doubled consonants. We began this section by observing that nearly any consonant may accept a strong dagesh. There is a handful of consonants which resist them, namely alef, he, chet, and the consonant ayin. These are known as gutturals, and that's because of the part of the throat which produces them. They are deeper in the throat. The letter resh often behaves like a guttural, so you will often find particular pronunciation patterns described as relating to gutturals plus resh. Now, the logic behind these gutturals and resh resisting the strong dagesh is fairly straightforward. For example, if you had the consonant he, which produces the h, the h sound, how can this be doubled? Or the glottal stop of the aleph, how can this be doubled? It's very difficult physically to produce it. So it makes sense that these would resist the strong dagesh. As observed in a footnote, sometimes gutturals and resh, since they are resisting the dagesh, will bring about a different alteration in a word. Instead of displaying a dagesh, sometimes they will bring about compensatory lengthening or virtual doubling. Follow the comment in the footnote if you wish to learn more about these features. In addition to the two sorts of dagesh, the weak dagesh and strong dagesh, there is a third sort of dot. It's located at the same place in a letter, and like the others, it does not comprise a vowel. This third dot is known as the mapik. Mapik. In the Masoretic text, mapik appears only in the letter he and only at the end of a word. Often it is labeled as a mapik he in order to distinguish that consonant from a plain he. What's going on when we observe a mapik in the letter he? It is serving notice to us that this particular he is a genuine consonant. This contrasts situations when the Masoretes would have supplied the letter he as a pronunciation aid, perhaps following a kamates to produce a kamates he. In contrast to this, the mapik is actually preserving some meaning. And for this reason, a mapik he in transliteration will be retained as the letter H. It will not be lost as the he of a kamates he. At the bottom of the screen, you'll see two pairs of words, the first of which has a mapik he, and the second of which ends in a he, but it is not a mapik he. Please pay close attention to the fact that the meaning of these words changes when a mapik he is present. The mapik will not change pronunciation, but it does preserve meaning. So consider first of all, arutsa, arutsa. This first word ends in a mapik he and has the meaning her land. The pronoun her is designated with the mapik he. Just following that, we see a very similar word, arutsa, arutsa. It also ends in a he, but is a standard he. This does not convey the pronoun her. Instead, this word has the meaning toward the land. The next pair of words begins with malka, malka. Here again, the mapik he represents the pronoun her in the expression her king. In contrast, malka, this time pronounced identical to the first occurrence of this similar word, malka means a queen, a queen. And there we have no mapik he. In sum, then, whenever you notice a mapik with a dot in it, think of this as preserving an important part of meaning, even though it will not change the pronunciation.